Okay, moving on to 16, State Revolving Fund Grant Loan Application for Water Meter Replacement Project.
Mr. Mayor and the council
Indeed.
members. So this item is to get the council's authorization to adopt resolutions as recommended in the staff report, to file an application for the grant funding from the State Water Resources Control Board. And the State Water Board offers grant funding for the water meter replacement project. And in order to qualify for this type of grant funding, the meters must be equipped with automatic reading system, that is a cellular meter reading system, to qualify for this type of grant. So in the background, the city's distribution system has approximately 19,000 meters, and all of those meters are radio read meters. And approximately 16 out of 19,000 meters are over 10 years old, and they need replacement of their heads. And approximately 3,000 meters are approximately 70 years old, and they need the replacement of the heads in about 2 to 3 years. And based on the recent testing of the meters throughout the city, approximately 2,000 meters need complete replacement within a year. So we have two main options to handle this project for water meter replacement of the heads. Number one is to replace the meter heads and the meters with the in-kind radio read meters and or the heads. And the second option is to replace the meter heads of 17,000 meters with the cellular based meters, and then replace the complete meters with the cellular read meters. So option 2 is only eligible for grant funding. And our adopted budget, the CAP budget, identified funding for this water meter replacement project. So does a recent rate study in the water rate study that was completed last year. So the cost analysis of this project, if we go with option 1, that is to replace the meter heads with the in-kind meter heads, the total cost is approximately, that includes equipment and installation, all the everything, about 4.8 million. However, that does not provide any type of grant funding. So the city's share in that option is 4.8 million. The second option is to go with the cellular meter technology, and it is eligible for grant funding. The total cost is approximately $8 million. And but the city's share with the grant funding is $4 million if our grant gets approved. So based on these numbers, option 2 saves approximately $1.3 million over next 10 years. They have about $800,000 from construction cost savings, and about $500,000 on the labor savings from meter readings, that we don't have to read the meters. And then the remaining $4 million city share will come from the low interest loans from the state. And the debt service of the loan will not create any additional effect on our current water rates. They have already programmed in our CAP budget and the recent rate study. To look on the benefits of the cellular read meters, they provide better customer service to the customers. They can download their apps and they can look on the real-time data of their water uses anytime, anywhere in the world. And it also provides automatic data transfer ability for billing purposes for the city. And it also provides fast leak detections. And we can look at where the water leaks are at. And we can, through all of these efforts, we will be able to conserve water and energy. And that's why the main reason the state is providing grant for these automatic read meters. And ultimately, if we save water and energy, that will help to save water, the cost on the entire water, our water rates in the long run. And it also provides community engagement in the water conservation efforts. So this is how the meter looks like. This is the meter head, and this is the transmitter. Just the basics of how the meter operates. The meter gets the data and it transfers the data over through the cellular network over to the cloud-based system and to the utility billing system and also the customers. And this the cost estimate that we have included in these options also includes all the services through the cellular data and everything for the next 10 years. So these are the examples of the customers, how they will be able to see the data on their computers, their tablets, and their cell phones. And this will also give us the city ability to look on the customize our dashboards to look at the water uses from the different neighborhoods, from the customers, and try to analyze and conserve. And with that, I would like to make a recommendation that adopt the recommended resolutions for the state water fund financial assistance application. And when the state approves our application, the staff will return back to the council for additional recommendations. With that, I will be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions from council, comments? I do have one since there isn't any from the rest. So this will definitely help with leak detection much quicker if something happens in a home. And then there'll be an alert, is there going to be any way that all of a sudden, like a pipe breaks in a home and our staff will be able to see, or there'll be an alarm or an alert that we could at least do some checking and say, hey, something happened. And you notice that, because an open line can put out a lot of water inside of a home. I have a friend that it went on while he was on vacation for 3 weeks, and it completely destroyed their home. So that's interesting situation for them. And then also for a neighborhood, we would see that maybe there's extra. Maybe there's our system that we are responsible for. There's in high use in that area. Is there any way we could do something of that nature too with this?
Absolutely.
Leak detection.
Yeah, absolutely. This will help in the leak detection much faster. And in order to give us the alert of any irregular water uses from the 19,000 customers, I'm not sure, but there may be some ways to get the alert. But if there's some alerts, then this system, at first hand, this system put the customers responsible that they can download the app and they can monitor their own uses.
Right.
And I'm not sure that if this system provides the ability, probably it does, to the city staff to monitor all the 19,000 connections and give the alerts.
Well, it goes through a computer system. If there's, with that, programs can be set up in a way very easily. Perhaps for this, maybe it isn't set up that way, but that'd be a recommendation to at least look into.
Absolutely. Staff will look into that.
Yes.
Through the mayor. So one of the comments you made is that this structure in how we would obtain the cellular component to this and everything would not increase the water rate through the CIP that we have in place, wouldn't increase it any pursuant to 218. What I want to be certain of is that we have a rate structure below what the allowances are under the rates we set in 218. The council has adopted a lower rate. Is that rate going to be affected?
Well, our existing adopted CAP budget, in our existing adopted CAP budget, we have certain set aside funds to fund the replacement of these meters or the meter heads, and exactly that money will go towards paying the debt service. So at the bottom line, it will not affect the rates, the water rates.
The currently established rates.
That is correct.
Here comes Diana now.
Okay.
Kind of signaled.
So if I understand your question correctly, so through the Proposition 218 process, maximum rates were approved.
Correct.
This last year, council approved rates below that threshold. And so would this project increase those rates? There are other factors that are going to go into whether or not those rates increase this next year, part of that being water conservation. So even though our current mandate from the state is 15%, our customers have actually conserved more than that over the summer months as well as the winter months. So this project, through that rate structure, we had identified about $1 million annually to go towards meter replacement, pipeline replacement, repair, and then also coating of the tanks. So, you know, as Robin comes forward in the next couple of months with updates on where we are with the revenues, that's really what's going to dictate whether or not those rates are proposed to be increased in May when we come back to you with our recommendation.
Yeah, so I guess more specifically, my question is, this project in and of itself will not increase a demand on the current rate structure.
Correct.
Thank you.
With that, any more comments? Yes. Okay, I'm looking for a motion.
I make a motion.
Okay, got a motion. Do I have a second?
Sure, second.
Okay. Mr. Harris has a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, unanimous approval of that. And thank you for looking for the alternatives that are even more efficient and actually 21st century type approach. That's great to see that. Staff is really working hard for that.
Thank you.